Hello everyone and welcome to Global Outlook. I'm Mary Sitt. Today we'll meet an entrepreneur who fed volunteers, first responders, and victims who are working to recover after Hurricane Harvey hit Houston. And later we'll meet a professional organizer who will give us tips on how to stay organized and clear the clutter from your life. Plus we'll meet one of HCC's international students from South Africa. Our first guest is Mechelle Tran, partner of two restaurants, Pho Saigon Vietnamese Noodle House and Riel Restaurant, a stylish, bustling bistro serving globally inspired shared plates. Mechelle, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about your newest restaurant, Riel.
Riel is Chef Ryan Lashane is at the helm there, and we wanted to bring this globalization, right, is affecting everyone across the board, and we wanted to bring something to Houston that Houston, in our opinion, needs to have more diversity as far as having bigger chefs and more talent and popular concepts and ideas coming to Houston. We've had a lot of talent here so far, and so it's that continual, and it gives Houston, it puts us in the spotlight, right? So that's kind of what we're striving to do, is kind of little baby steps, and if we can help along the way to bring more things to Houston.
So a more diverse menu, more diverse food, that sort of thing?
New ideas, right.
So how is Riel, now you're fairly new on the scene, but you've already won awards, right? You're in Montrose. How is this restaurant different?
We feel like we want to put out food and service that's thoughtful, but that is not, how do you say,
Not your typical stuff you find in a restaurant?
Not stuffy. We want it to be thoughtful, but we want people to have fun.
Okay,
So you want
to some pictures of that. So let's look at pictures of Riel Restaurant while you're talking about it. So that's Pho Saigon. That's your other. Now that's your restaurant where it's your sort of your tradition. You've had it for how many years now?
So the Pho Saigon has been around almost for 20 years in the Midtown location.
Okay.
So we've seen the area change dynamically over the last 20 years. And it is classic Vietnamese pho. And we have rice plates, and you get your Café du Monde coffee with condensed milk there.
Very nice.
And this is Riel.
That's the newer one now.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And this says, some reviewers have said, well, I can't tell what kind of restaurant this is because there's food from all over the world. So tell me, what different countries do you represent with your menu?
Okay, so Chef Ryan is from, that's the bee's knees. So Chef Ryan is from Canada, and his maternal side is Ukrainian. And the way that his style of food is Gulf Coast. Okay. So you get this Gulf Coast, we try to get as close to local as we can for farmers, and who brings us the fish and who brings us the vegetables. And so he has his take on the things he grew up eating, like pierogies. And so now we have these handmade pierogies.
What is a pierogi?
A pierogi is a potato and cheese dumpling. So our pierogies, it's and it's this little dumpling.
Is it boiled or fried or sauteed or what?
It's served with hanger steak. It's served with the big steak. You can also order it on the side. It's just this little deliciousness. And I know that there's another popular pierogi place that Allison Cook has written about. So hopefully people are kind of getting learning about other foods and culture.
Now, you were very involved in helping the people, the victims of Harvey, the first responders. Tell me what your restaurant did to help out right after the hurricane.
So after the hurricane, Pho Saigon stayed open because we were not affected. And so we tried to be open so that people who didn't have food that could get to us could have food. And of course, first responders and anyone who came in, we took care of as far as if they were out there working. We had people come, people coming in from all over, not just from Houston. And if they came in, we fed them. At Riel...
And you're saying fed them complimentary meals just to help out with it. That's great.
And at Riel, we couldn't open for business. A lot of our staff was not able to reach us. Right. Sometimes in Houston, your place could be like on an island almost, and no one can get to you, even though you're dry. So what we did was we took food that other people had set up and we grabbed the food, we took it to Riel, we cooked it, and then we sent it out to whomever needed it. So,
sort of a to-go service for volunteers, right?
Yeah, definitely. We just cooked it, and then there were lots of bigger restaurants and bigger restaurateurs that were organizing. And so they were like, hey, can you make spaghetti for 200 people? Sure, let's go pick up the stuff and then do it. And then we dropped it off, and then they made sure it got to where it needed to go.
Now, philanthropy has been a very big part of your whole philosophy in doing business. Tell me why that's so important to you, and what else you've done at Riel in terms of charity.
You know what, to be honest, I think it started with my dad at Tshivhase Saigon. He always told the staff, you know what, if you can do a good job here, I want you to go and open your own business. Because we were so challenged when we came here, and to have the opportunity to.
How old were you when you came? You a little girl?
We got here when I was 5, so I spent from 1 to 5 in refugee camps.
Wow.
So coming here and having the struggle, and them being able to prosper, and then putting us through college. So when they see other families and they're like, do a good job, and then we'll help you open your own restaurant, which, has happened. So growing up seeing that, and knowing that you're always trying to help other people. Our other partner at Riel, he is very much so into philanthropy and charity also. He's been a great resource as far as, we got a call. There was somebody from Fox 26 who got a tweet about HPD needing fresh shirts because the officers hadn't been home in 72 hours.
Wow.
And so our other partner was able to say, you know what, I have 1,000 shirts from my company. We're going to take it down to HPD and give it to them right now.
He had 1,000 shirts from his business?
He had 1,000 shirts from his business that he had printed for something else, and he said, go ahead and take them. Little things like that. And then Chef Ryan, of course, puts in the sweat equity of doing the work and cooking the food. And you'd get phone calls and say, okay, there's seniors that need food. So can you make, something that's good for seniors? And
so even though Riel was closed for business, you guys were busy in the kitchen cooking for all these different groups who were helping the hurricane
Yes,
people,
and
right?
our staff was amazing. Even from bartenders to cooks, they said, what can we do? Servers said, you know what, even though we're not cooking the food, I will drive it somewhere. Who do we need to drop it off to? So everybody who could get to where we were and could help did. And I think that really, not just for Houston, but just from the little small thing that we are, and across the board we saw that, right? Everyone wanted to help.
Mechelle, you have a degree in sociology, psychology, and a master's in education, but you're in the restaurant business. What sort of advice would you give to young people who are watching this, who want to be an entrepreneur or want to be in the restaurant business?
The same thing that I would tell my son is, first and foremost, get your education. Always get, work on your degrees. Nowadays, it's, your bachelor's is the very minimum. If you go through HCC for 2 years and then go to U of H or UT or whatever, do what you need to do.
And you tell your bartenders, go take some courses at HCC, right?
I always encourage them, just at least sign up for a class. Just go to HCC, sign up for a class, get your foot in the door, and continue to, work on your degree so that you can use it down the line. You kind of evolve and figure out your footing in life as you grow. So sometimes when you're 18 and starting college, you have no idea what you want to do. That was me.
Right.
I had no clue. I was just always working with my parents and helping them at the restaurants. And there was this natural progression, and I just did not want to work in an office all day.
You didn't want that structured
I
schedule.
did not like the structured schedule, and I thought, okay, how can I use my talent and my resources? And at the end of the day, for me, it's how can I be successful so that I can help other people? Having a little boy has kind of made that passion for helping other people even stronger.
So you want to be successful so you can
Help other
employ
people.
your staff so they can help their families and keep them going.
Right.
What's the favorite part, the favorite aspect for you running a business, a restaurant business?
Having a restaurant means that you get to interact with hundreds of people. People come in and out, and I think it's very rewarding when you see the same people all the time, and you meet new people, and you meet all these personalities, and it's this worldly experience, and you don't have to go anywhere because they're coming into your place.
Restaurant.
And even at Tshivhase Saigon, we've seen couples get married, and then their pregnant, and then they have the baby, and now the baby's in high school. So you see all of that,
the generations
and it makes it worth all the hard work when they're happy and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And the kids like it, and then they're friends, and you watch them grow up. And
so you're in the business of making people happy.
I think so. I think
it's
rewarding.
Mechelle, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll check out your restaurants.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, how to enjoy a clutter-free life with all things in order and a place for everything. Tips from a certified professional organizer right after this.
Houston Community College and Apple are teaming to bring iOS coding to everyone, creating opportunities in the app economy. Our cutting-edge iOS coding and design program teaches students to make apps that can make all of our lives easier. Open to all, benefiting everyone. Our partnership with Apple moves HCC to the front of the class in teaching app design. This innovation is one more reason why we are Houston's community college.
Center of Excellence for Global Energy offers programs in drafting, design engineering technology, electronic engineering technology, instrumentation, control engineering technology, process technology, and petroleum engineering technology. Graduates from our programs in science, engineering, technology can expect $50,000 to $100,000 of salaries per year. If you're interested in a successful career in science, engineering, technology programs, join HCC Global Energy.
I'm so frustrated with mother's finances. I wish we had discussed this sooner.
It's difficult making decisions for mom. With dad gone, a lot has changed.
Seeing my parents age, I worry about their financial decisions.
As we age, our ability to make good financial choices decreases. Start the conversation today and plan for the future. Financial resources and tools are available at smartaboutmoney.org, a non-commercial organization focused on your financial success.
An engineering career is a wonderful career. The HEC Engineering Center of Excellence created a new degree which allows students to take the first 2 years of a 4-year engineering program here at ACC, and then they transfer to an upper division college. Total tuition costs for that 4-year degree is under $20,000. More than 1 million engineers will be retiring over the next 10 years. We need to educate the next generation of engineers, not just for Houston or Texas, but for the country.
Our next guest believes that when you have order in your life, you have less stress and more productivity. Lisa Giesler is a certified professional organizer who has done closet makeovers in the homes of Houston's socialites and movers and shakers. She's also the author of a book called Uncluttered: Discovering Strength and Purpose in the Chaos of Life. Lisa, thank you for being with us.
I'm so glad to be here today.
You came from a family of 6 and morphed into a household of 12.
Absolutely.
When you were growing up.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you learned the value of private space and being organized. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, when you're living in a 900 square foot house, and that's just what it was.
900
square foot house, yes. And so for me, you know, you have all that clutter going on, and it was just finding that little bitty spot that was yours that you felt like you can function.
And I remember in your book you were talking about how, were you trying to make the dining table nice? And your siblings would come along and move it around, and you're going, no, I want this space to look good.
Well, you know, they had the baggies, and they had, you know, mail and socks and cereal.
On the dining table.
And I just wanted flowers, something pretty.
Right.
And everybody was like, don't touch it, you know? And so I just wanted something pretty versus all the other stuff.
So you think that's where your drive to organize came from as a kid?
Yes, and also my life growing up in general. Yes, absolutely.
Lisa, okay, all of us, it's been months now since Harvey, but we're still recovering and going through things. And people, what kind of tips would you give people who are displaced from the hurricane and they're still living with friends, and they've got their little suitcase here, their little overnight bag, and a little, you know, basket here, and a garbage bag of stuff here, you know, and they're trying to like live their lives and be normal. How do you get organized when you're a house guest with someone, or in a little hotel room with 3 people or 4
Absolutely. For one thing is, it really makes you stop and think about what's really important in life. What do you really need to live? And so you almost have to view it as you're on this perpetual 2-week vacation. And yes, absolutely.
That's good.
Right.
I like that.
But also you need to keep your paperwork.
Okay.
You need to keep your paperwork in order.
Okay.
So you're minimal with your clothing and stuff.
Right.
You could possibly have things in storage, but your paperwork has got to stay in order. That's your life, that's your world.
Right.
It's almost like you're
Just
having
like
a little
your insurance papers, your FEMA stuff. Right?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
And having like a calendar and writing notes and keeping a file. You want to make a plan so that you can move as quickly as you can. So depending upon the renovation, I've seen a lot of people who they'll say, when this much is done in the house, we can move in. And even if they have water and electricity for the air conditioner, they don't mind that they might not have flooring. They want to not, yeah.
Or sink or water. Yeah,
exactly.
Downstairs, but upstairs.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. So it's just feeling like you can kind of start settling into what's called the new norm.
Lisa, but sometimes I just want to scream because I can't stand living like that. You come downstairs and it's just, you know, it's like a little war zone. There's stuff with sheets all over it. There's no, I mean, how do you maintain sanity and you know, be organized and clean? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
On the other downstairs.
Well, and that's where I like to have a checklist.
Okay.
And that way, when you look at the big, big, big picture, it can feel overwhelming. But if you say to yourself, it's going to be okay, this is what we're working on right now.
So break it down to little tasks.
You have to. Same thing with the budget and stuff. We know it's a big, big thing. We do. But with anything in life, if you keep dwelling on the bigness, then it becomes very anxious for you. The other thing becomes is talking to people about it, talking to someone. So whether you have a friend who's very organized or just someone who can lend an ear for you to just kind of help keep you guiding. So for example, you have somebody like me as an organizer, a project management type person who could help guide and keep you on track. But then you need to have those moments where you just get out. Yeah. Just get out for a minute and just breathe, and you just have to find contentment in the moment.
Right. Okay, so Harvey is actually a great opportunity for people who are starting over because now we can get organized. You don't have to, you can edit your kitchen and not have all this stuff you never use in there.
Absolutely.
So give me some tips on how can people, when they start over, what organizing tips can they learn?
Okay, so for starting over, now, a kitchen is a perfect example. So basically, you almost think of it as you're just getting started in life, and you think a week at a time. Okay. What do I need for this week? How many pots and pans do I need? How many glasses do I really need? Right. And it just becomes simplistic. Don't try to fill everything in immediately. Okay. It's just literally taking a week at a time, and when you're ready to get your measuring spoons. And as far as decorations, some people, that's a priority.
Right.
They just want a pretty little area first. And it's prioritizing time, money.
And that's okay depending on what's important to you.
Absolutely.
Now, Lisa, you have gone into the homes of the very rich and famous in Houston and organized their closets for them or their whole homes when they've moved into it. Let's look at some pictures of that.
Oh, absolutely.
And tell me, okay, give me some comments on what you did. Okay, what is this one here?
Okay, so this is one of our fun socialites in the River Oaks area. Okay. And what happened with her is she bought this gorgeous home, but there wasn't really storage spaces. Okay. So we had to be creative. That one picture there, we had to be creative with storage spaces. Okay. So multi-purpose, whether it was linen closets,
you saw those two pieces of furniture. We can go back to that. That'd be great.
That was
like a decorative item, but it was actually storage, right?
Absolutely.
What was inside?
Liquor. The bar was only big enough to put wine. I know. Okay. But see there? Right. And so absolutely, you had to be creative. One was for the towels and stuff like that. And the other thing becomes...
And the first picture, there were like little spices in the kitchen?
Yes, go back to that one. You know how they had the Lazy Susan?
Yes.
Lazy Susans used to be flat.
Right.
And now they have the ones, like at the Container Store, they have sides. Okay. And that way, when you reach in your pantry, like I did one time, the Tabasco sauce doesn't hit the floor.
Right.
And so that's really, really wonderful.
Lazy Susans with different sizes, you mean?
Yes. Okay. They have sides on them, so you can put the jars in there, and they don't fall off when you spin them.
That's great.
I know, right?
Okay, so you also did, they'll be right there. Those are the little...
Oh my gosh, so the closet had these fabulous cabinets, and when the movers came in, sometimes movers just shove it in. Right. And so we were like, well, let's showcase some of the shoes that you don't wear as much. Exactly. Well, and it was having fun. That's just one view of it. But that way it was displaying some of her favorite shoes, her favorite outfits. They had these drawers where her clutches were in, and it was such a delight because for some women, it is a priority for the closet to be pretty and functional. Okay,
so for the rest of us, how do you organize your closets in your bedroom?
Okay, so for starters, if you're starting over, it's going to be good to have a closet system in place. Okay, most places have just rods. So you want to think in terms of, and I like the Container Store, I don't get paid for this ad, but you can do like a whole
layers.
walls of shelving.
Okay, inside your closet.
Oh yes, absolutely. And you could do it on any budget because they're flexible. Here again, it's having somebody like an organizer who can help you design it and think about how many pair of shoes and purses, what you long-term want to use for your closet
Do you
space.
color code your clothes?
I
Blacks, whites,
No, I don't
reds,
color
yellows.
code, and I do it according to types. And the reason is, I went in a closet, it was black. There was black pants, black shirts, black tank tops, and I'm like, what's in here?
Oh, so you put all the dresses together, all the shirts together.
Right,
all
you have your sleeveless shirts, your short sleeves and stuff, and then you can kind of move along, and your pants and stuff.
And what about shoes? Original shoe boxes, clear boxes?
Some women like the clear boxes, okay, and some women like the shoe boxes. Some women don't need boxes, and the reason is most people are not disciplined to put the shoes back in the shoe box. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to keep my shoe box, and it's like they're everywhere.
So where do you put them?
I just put them on a shelf. Keep
So
the
a
door
shoe
closed.
shelf, then.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you had to really decipher the personality of the client because your suggestions may not fit with what they
No,
want.
exactly.
Right?
And that's why when I talk to them in the original consultation, I want to know who they are, what their lifestyle is in the big picture, and what's important to them. Because for some people, it's different for every person, just like the personalities.
You're also a minister, right? So, and you say in your newest and latest book that a lot of the clutter we have in our lives is really indicative of other stuff going on inside.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's called Uncluttered, Discovering Strength and Purpose in the Chaos of Life. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
What I came to find in organizing is there was more going on. And there were clients who, in the conversation, they would remember something. Sometimes they were living in a traumatic situation, a difficult life situation, a past. And once they kind of came to terms of why they do what they do, it made change easier for them and to understand. And so I do have a lot of stories in my book, and there's usually a story that'll fit one person.
But even if you don't know what your story is and why you're doing it, just start doing it the right way and things will fall into place better for you, or not? Or do you have to have that understanding first?
Sometimes you do. People can always make things pretty, but it's maintaining it. You can always go in there and just do it.
It's like on a diet. You can lose
Exactly.
weight, but how do you keep the weight off?
Exactly.
So how do you maintain your house once you get it all nice and neat?
Well, for me, it's putting things away right away.
Okay.
And it's not having more stuff than space. I say, yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to do a quick question. I'm out of time really, but tips and tricks for a room. Just one quick tip for each room. Okay, so bedroom. What's a good organizing trick?
The best organizing trick in a bedroom is having a dresser or storage space so that you don't have a lot of clutter showing, so it's peaceful.
Okay, kitchen?
Kitchen, the best tip I can give is I like the pantry door racks from the Container Store so that everything, you can see it and grab it for your spices.
And the bathroom?
And the bathroom. The bathroom is having individual little bins for the different categories that you can grab it and put it right back away.
Sounds great. Lisa, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Up next, we'll meet one of South Africa's best and brightest who's now studying here at HCC. Stay with us.
The construction COE is like a big umbrella. We have several disciplines goes underneath it. Construction technology, plumbing, heating, ventilation and air conditioning, industrial electricity, and solar technology.
The students are excited to be a part of this program because they realize that it is positioning them to outshine the competition.
At Houston Community College, we focus on the future. The transition of the student from Houston Community College to the workplace, it will be seamless.
Computers run everything in our lives, and we have built this incredible digital infrastructure. It's a wonderful thing. That infrastructure has to be maintained.
HCC's Center of Excellence helps drive the economy by providing local training for local jobs in the technology field.
We have computer programming, we have computer networking and telecommunications, we have digital gaming and simulation, and we have geographic information services.
Houston Community College and Apple. Together, we provide knowledge, ability, and create opportunity to learn and write the new language of Apple's iOS platform. Now is the time to take your skills to the next level and take charge of your future in the app economy, right here in Houston. This innovation is one more reason why we are Houston's community college.
next guest was chosen to be a participant in the prestigious international program here at HCC, studying as a guest of the U.S. government. Tshivhase is from South Africa, studying cybersecurity. And can you say your full name for me, please?
My name is Ndivhuho Tshivhase.
And everyone calls you Tshivhase here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick to that. She's studying cybersecurity, but her real dream is to be a motivational speaker. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
So you've been in the U.S. for about 5 months now, right? What do you like best about living here?
What I love best, the crime here, it's not much. Like in my own opinion, there's no crime at all compared to other parts in South Africa. So that's what I like, and there are a lot of job opportunities.
You come from a town called Limpopo, did I say that right?
Yeah.
And that's about 1,000 miles away from Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a picture of South Africa there. Cape Town's suffering from a really bad drought right now. Your town's not affected at all though, right?
No.
Okay. Can you tell me what the educational system is like here compared to back home?
Like here, the education system is very nice because in a class they can only take less than 30 students, which is good because each and every student get attention from the professor. Unlike back in South Africa, you can find a class with up to 60 or 70 students.
Okay, so that's a lot, you get less attention.
It's a lot. And here they focus more on practical stuff.
Now, why did you choose cybersecurity? What is it about that fascinates you?
I'm very eager to learn how to protect the personal information. Like as you can see nowadays, everything is done online. We have online shopping, online banking, and sometimes it's kind of risky.
Yeah, companies are getting hacked all the time.
Exactly. So my dream or my passion is to learn how to avoid that.
So you've always been into IT, that kind of thing, the technical stuff?
Back in my country, I was studying IT. Ever since I was young, I've been in IT. Yeah.
Really?
It's my passion. I love IT.
Okay. And your mom is a CEO of a company, right?
Yeah,
what
it's a small company.
What type of company?
It's a retail store.
Okay, very nice. And one of your big passions is to be a motivational speaker.
Yes.
Tell me how that came about, and what do you want to speak about?
Like I want to encourage the youth back in my community. Most of the people are not really into education.
Okay.
And like me growing up and having the passion in IT, it was not that easy. I always wished there was someone to guide me. So basically this lack of knowledge, I want to go around the high school, encourage the ladies to be involved in IT, encourage people. So basically it's to encourage the youth.
That's great because not many women are in IT these days and technology. That's great. So how did you get interested? Did someone encourage you when you were young and very youngster?
I've never really had female friends, so I used to hang around with boys a lot, and they're so interested in computers. Whenever they be in computers, I'll be with them. That's when I developed the passion.
Okay, so here at HCC, part of the program you're in requires students to be volunteers. Tell me about your work as a volunteer here.
Well, I've been doing a great job volunteering, especially during the Harvey. We worked a lot as a team. We did a lot of great job.
Where did you go to volunteer?
We went to the shelters, George R. Brown. We were volunteering with Red Cross.
Very nice.
Together as a group of 18 people, we have more than 2,000 hours volunteering.
You have more than 2,000 hours?
Yeah.
So you had the highest number, right, of all the students?
Yeah.
Congratulations. What would you like us to know about your country?
I'd like to know that South Africa is not what people think it is.
Okay.
It's a country of peace and harmony, and it's not that poor, it's a developing country.
Okay.
There are also a lot of job opportunity, and there are a lot of IT companies, and it's a good country.
And you call it Rainbow Country?
Yeah, we call it Rainbow Nation.
A Rainbow Nation because of all the diversity there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so diverse.
And you said that people love to dance there.
We love dancing. We love dancing.
What kind of dancing do you do? Just okay.
So we have the South African music, which we call it kwaito. So whenever we feel depressed or when we're sad, we just dance.
That's great. Thank you so much for being with us, and good luck with your studies here.
Thank you.
That's all for this edition of Global Outlook. Join us again every Friday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m., plus Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for watching.